What is up, you heathens and demons, you beautiful, blasphemous people? Welcome back to the Raging Atheist. I'm your boy, Nakasuchi. Today we're going to be looking at Teal Swan again. Part 2 of our first look at her channel. And Teal Swan is this life coach, spiritual teacher that exudes sexuality and tries to pretend she's smarter than she really is. So let's get back into it.
But as this consciousness becomes a part of the physical dimension, this consciousness chooses to become separated and defined and polarized. Because of this, as much as our ego does not like it, the reality of physical life is that we are not all equal.
So right away we're going to get into a bunch of shit that's hard to understand. You probably have to go back and watch that shit again. Alright? And to her third justification against the fight for equality. And that is because we're not actually equal. Now again, she's going to be talking a no-brainer. Something that we all understand as we fight to achieve equality. That equality does not mean that, we are all the same. That'd be fucking boring. That's not what we're fighting for. Equality means that we all have the same merit. That we should all have the same individual rights. And that we should all have the same opportunity of success. We all should have, if this person can get married, this person should be able to get married. That's equality. If this person should be able to vote, well then this person should be able to vote. That's equality. I understand as a person that fights for equality that I am superior when it comes to some things than other people. As I said in my last video, I do feel like I am a superior writer to most human beings. I was really good at basketball when I was growing up. I was superior to a lot of people on the basketball court. That's not what the fight for equality means.
The thing that we are most concerned with when it comes to equality is being valued. We want to be valued equally. We want to be treated equally because we are valued equally. But here's the thing. As long as you live in a time-space reality and a dimension where value is dependent upon needs, perspectives, and preferences, nothing's ever going to be equal.
And right into her fourth major argument against the fight for equality is nothing's ever going to be equal because we live in this blah 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 weird mumbo jumbo about dimensions shit. Right? But what she's saying is essentially true. That is how it is now. But you see, the fight for equality is about achieving something better. And in order to progress, you must evolve from the past. See, she's giving you that same old conservative argument, like this is how it is, deal with it. To where us dreamers, us progressives, us people trying to achieve true equality for all human beings, understand that we are trying to actually affect change.
An employee's needs will not be treated as equal to the needs of a CEO because, quite frankly, a company can afford to lose and replace a worker. They cannot afford to lose and replace a CEO.
And she can say that with confidence because that is the society we live in. But societies can and often are wrong. She is wrong. As we often see, those CEOs can be replaced. And in most cases, when it comes to running a business into the ground, it's not the worker, it's the fucking CEO. So while you're saying that normal worker is replaceable, you're right, you'll find another normal worker to come and do the same shit. That normal worker is actually more instrumental to the success of your business than that fucking CEO is. I mean, if you think about it rationally and look at it from outside the bubble you live in, where you're told that CEO is so important because, they're not the plebs on the ground working. These are your true intellectuals. And I'm sure that these are the people that you're trying to get to hire you. So of course you're going to talk them up, but what you're saying is fucking ridiculous.
You want your perspective to matter as much as anyone else's in any given circumstance, but it doesn't. If someone meditated on a mountain for 20 years, your opinion about meditation would not matter as much as theirs. It would be inferior. In my line of work, the best engineer would be absolutely useless. In an engineering process, my information would be absolutely useless.
You're wrong, and you're selling yourself short. Your information in an engineering atmosphere might come in useful. Maybe your spirituality would help the engineer focus. Something along those lines. So again, she's just speaking out of her ass. Speaking out of her ass and trying to sell what she does is that she has the answers you need to be superior to other human beings.
For thousands of years, women could not hold property. What this meant is that society valued boys. And as an extension of society, parents valued boys. If your need was to have a successor and to have an heir, a girl simply could not fulfill those needs, so a boy would be valued higher.
Actually, it's not so simple as that. See, we are coming to the end of an evolutionary process, to where at the end of that process, we're coming to realize that all human beings are equal. Women are equal to men, and just because I'm bigger and stronger and can do some things that that woman can't do doesn't mean that I am better or superior to her. But it wasn't always like that. You see, as we came out of Africa 60,000 years ago, 90,000 years ago, the world was a very hostile place. So the bigger, stronger men that could protect the clan from those hostile aggressors, which would be wild animals, of course they would be valued more. And that carried over into the modern age, to where it did become a thing of inheritance. But that was just the leftover, need for the big, strong protector. We don't live in that world anymore. We're coming away from that part of evolution. We're leaving it behind. We're changing.
The perception of inequality can and does lead to horrible, horrible things. Whites saw blacks as unequal, and therefore blacks were kept as slaves and hung from trees. The figure skater Tanya Harding saw Nancy Kerrigan as superior, and therefore initiated an incident where Nancy was hit in the leg with a pipe before U.S. nationals. But it is not equality we need to be fighting for. Equality is not a reality in the realm of physicality, where needs and personal preference exist. What we need to be fighting for is three things.
All right. Finally, we're going to get to it. We put up with all this bullshit, all of these justifications to not fight for equality for all human beings. And we're going to get to what she really thinks. And she's going to dismiss all those instances of true inequality, like slavery, like the genocide of Native Americans, like what we did to the Moors, or, all that shit back in the day, what Christians did during the Reform or during the Spanish Inquisition. All those instances of inequality wasn't really about inequality. It was about the perception of inequality. Not inequality, because that's just an illusion. So here's what we really need to fight. And she's going to try to completely dismantle one of the major fucking pillars of my life. And she's going to, gloat about it and saying that I'm butthurt because she's right. No, I'm butthurt because you're atrocious. And I'm not really butthurt. Like I said, I'm actually turned on.
The first is love. But what is love? To love is to take something as part of yourself. Now, if whites could have taken blacks as part of themselves, they couldn't have hung them from trees without feeling the impact of doing so within their own body as if it was happening to them. When we love something, we do what is best for that thing. We don't prevent it from what it wants. We help it get what it wants. We also have an understanding of the perspective of whatever it is that we see as other.
Again, she's spitting a bunch of fucking mistruths. Shit's just not true. For one, love has nothing at all to do with the fight for inequality. Now, I might piss some of y'all off fighting for equality saying that shit. But in my opinion, love has nothing to do with it. I don't love the homosexual men that I fight for their right to marry. I don't fucking know them. How can I love them? I appreciate them as human beings. It has nothing at all to do with love. And the thing that she's saying, well, you can't hurt what you love, or you won't go and do bad shit to what you love, is just a fallacy that we see proven wrong every single fucking day and in everyday human life. Men beat the shit out of the women they love all the time. They cheat on the women they love all the time. Women cheat on the men they love all the time. We lie to the people we love all the fucking time. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The second thing we need to be fighting for is awareness. Question everything. Look at the perspectives and angles on everything. so that what we can do is to arise at a higher truth. Doing this means we transcend our ignorance. Doing this means we transcend our illusion. Doing this means we transcend our prejudice.
No, it fucking doesn't. What you're describing is being a skeptic. And that doesn't transcend your prejudice. That can lead to actually entrenching in it. Just look at the modern skeptic community on fucking YouTube. They have went farther and farther into the realm of prejudice the farther they've gotten into time. I mean, these so-called modern skeptics on YouTube, I'm sorry to say, are some of the most racist and prejudiced people I've fucking seen.
3. Each individual needs to stop focusing on where he or she is inferior, and instead start to focus on and express the very unique intrinsic values that make that person not only equal, but superior.
You see that shit? Did you see that shit? I mean, Teal Swan was so happy with herself for being so fucking clever there. Guess what, Teal Swan? That shit wasn't very clever.
If we could do these 3 things, the negative manifestations that arise out of the perception of inequality would not actually manifest. They wouldn't occur. Now, it may seem strange for someone like me, a spiritual teacher, to come here and say the concept of superiority, inferiority, or even equality is a matter of the ego, and then tell you, focus on your superiority. Why am I not teaching you simply to disidentify instead? Here is why I'm doing it. As much as you may want to, you can never get rid of your ego. You will have an ego as long as you hold a perspective that is differentiated. If you introduce yourself by one name, you have an ego.
So if you couldn't understand the bullshit she was putting down right there, I'm going to break it down real quick and real simple for you. If you have a name, you have an ego. So you shouldn't fight for equality. Seriously, that's what she just fucking said.
The more intrinsic value you see in yourself for your own unique superiorities, the less you will care about your deficiencies. The less you care about your deficiencies, the more secure you are in terms of self-concept. The more secure you are in terms of self-concept, the less you will create the incredible manifestations of suffering that arise from insecurity relative to inequality. When you are willing to live your life according to your unique intrinsic value, i.e. gifts, your purpose falls into your lap. When you can see the intrinsic value in others, you can lead them to their purpose instead of forcing them to try to improve their deficiencies so as to suit your needs.
Okay, last clip. I promise that was the last clip. And, you need a thesaurus to break that shit down, or a dictionary to break that shit down. But essentially what that chick just said is that by fighting for equality, you're really trying to change the person you're fighting for into you. So don't do it. Fuck that shit. This is dangerous. This is the classic justification for inequality that we've gotten over the millennia. They just put a pretty face on it and she's trying to sound smart, and all she sounds like is a monstrous human being. So I don't know, maybe I need to change my stance on spiritualism. Maybe spiritualism can be just as dangerous as religion. Now, I know a lot of atheists are really hard on spiritualism. I've stayed away from it. Maybe it's time to look at it farther. As always, I'm your boy Nakasuchi. This is The Raging Atheist. If you like my videos, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share me on your social media. Comment in the comment section below. I'll see you soon.